to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Nompumelelo Riel Hunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We are surrounded by many speakers across the world who's going to be sharing some nuggets on effective leadership. In Pennsylvania, we have Jessica Kenley. In Jamaica, we have O'Dane Mills. And in Washington State, we have Melissa. At this moment, I will let our speakers to introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Jessica.
Hello, everyone. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here. I wanted to take a moment of silence for everyone and to all the families that suffered under this COVID. And I pray for God's grace over their family. And I am truly sorry for your loss. So,
Go ahead, O'Dane.
so I wanted to say a special thank you to you, Omielo, for giving me the honor and for giving me the privilege to speak on your platform. So special thank you to you. And I want to talk about your book, Rise to Greater Heights. It was John Quincy Adams who said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, you are a leader. In the Merriam Webster's dictionary, the definition of leadership is the action of leading a group or an organization of people. So, one thing I learned from my mentor, TD Jakes, don't underestimate yourself. Leadership is an action, it's not a noun, it's actually a verb. Leadership, Wayne Dyer wrote, great leaders never set out to be a leader, they just set out to make a difference. So, I'm saying that to say to become an effective leader. Now, I have a little bit of experience. I actually before COVID and the pandemic, I am a youth leader and mentor. I would devote about 4 days out of the week to volunteering my time at an after school program where I help children in the city here in Harrisburg. So I've got to see these young leaders growing, and we have to ignite that fire. We have to feed that seed of leadership in our youth. So I want to also explain what effective leadership consists of. When an organization or maybe a job is looking to hire someone to be a leader or a manager, they want someone that exhibits strong characteristics of a leader, strong characteristics of honesty, of integrity, of being a lifetime learner. Life is all about learning. And a great speaker, he said, life isn't about finding out who you are. Life is about creating yourself. So it's all a process. And what I want to say to you all is trust the process. Life is a process. So to be an effective leader, TD Jakes also said, how you lead determines your success. So if you're leading a group of people, because something we have to remember, people follow and do what, and who they admire. So if they admire you and you're a leader and you're showing up, you don't value time. You don't teach any type of time management skills. So now you're everything that you lead, you create. You're creating. So now you're leading a group of people that don't have any type of time management skills, don't value time. It's sort of like you're leading a group of chaos and confusion. And that's not what people want. That's not what jobs and organizations want. Nobody wants confusion. So I want to compare poor leadership and good leadership with how it is a process. And this process is similar to how we have night and day. See, being a leader, it doesn't start out on stage. It doesn't start out as president. You have to start from the bottom. Leadership can start out in the pews of a church, as a dishwasher person, as a janitor. Leadership, it doesn't start out on top as president. So it's a process, and you have to go through the process. And while you're going through the process, you have to grow through the process. It's three things that I want you all to remember. Go through and grow through the process. That's number one. Number two, I want you to believe in yourself. Bet on you. You have nothing to lose. Bet on you. You have everything to gain, and it's worth it. And three, I want you all to trust the process. Like I said, you don't start out on top. You got to start from the bottom and work your way up to the top. Everything in life is a process, just like we have night and day. It's a 12-hour process. The sun and the moon set in space so effortlessly, right? As the earth spins on its axis, and every 12 hours, we have night, the sun sets, the moon appears, and then after that, the sun rises. So, effective and great leadership, it's a process. Trust the process and believe in yourself. Believe that you can and that you will. Thank you, Nomfeliela.
Wow, wow, that was wonderful. I think Jessica was very, very hungry because I didn't even introduce her, but she just went right straight on her speech. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much. By the way, Jessica is the oldest of the five with a ginormous family that loves and supports each other's greatness. Jessica is God's unrepeatable miracle child. She is a 9-year conqueror of multiple sclerosis and a 28-year-old conqueror of type 1 diabetes. Jessica has years of experience mentoring and coaching the youth in her city in Harrisburg. And she is an educational youth leader, a community activist, a public speaker, and a podcaster. Right now, Jessica is pursuing her career in business with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. And Jessica is a certified public speaker and also a board member of the local Toastmasters International in Harrisburg. She believes that she can make an impact in this world by leading with an example. So thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing such information on effective leadership. So our next speaker is going to be Ordain Mills. My brother, you can introduce yourself and then take over.
Good morning or good day, everyone. My name is Odin Mills. I am a food chemist by qualification. I don't really do that anymore. I'm now an entrepreneur pursuing a career there. I have experience in leadership. I'm a sport, um, I'm an athlete. So I was captain of that football team and I led that team to semifinals where I got injured and they fell out of the cup at that point. And I also lead at the church as well. So most of my speech will be surrounded and grounded in the Bible, coming from the Bible, because that's where I take my reference from. And I totally believe that that's the manual for life and for success. So I must also say thanks to Nompomielo. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Charge it to my head and not my heart. I really appreciate and I think I'm really honored to be on here among these amazing speakers and people. And in such a time as this, the world needs leaders. The world needs impeccable leaders. The world needs leaders who can lead people out of this turbulent season, out of this storm, to where they needs to be. Because out of this season, we will have persons who are very strong because you have to build character when times are hard. Soft times don't build character. So now is a time for leaders to arise. And I believe each and every person can arise to leadership because God placed that in us, a characteristic of leadership. We just need to grow it and continue to exhibit the leadership qualities. So today I will be talking about leadership and some qualities that comes with good leadership. So first, let me just define leadership in a basic term. Leadership is basically leading or taking someone from point A to point B by first taking the first action. You must first do the action so that others can follow and they will now trust you because they see that you're not only talking the talk but you're also walking the walk. And that's the characteristic of leader. Leadership is not just a position, it is a art, it is a skill that can be learned and improved upon. So some persons are born with the natural ability to lead, but others are grown and developed. All right, so as I said, most of my reference will come from the Bible. So leadership is a skill and it is a ship. So in that ship, you will find relationship, you will find companionship and partnership. So in that ship, you have to own all of these to ensure that you are taking the people that are looking for your guidance to go. Is that we show up and do what we say or we encourage others to do. So we're not just telling, are you guys still here? And my internet is fluctuating. All right, awesome, awesome. All right, so leaders don't just tell others, do this activity and don't execute it. I'm under a certain leadership right now and they don't have to do the activities they are encouraging us to do, but yet still each and every day they go ahead and continue doing the activities because they are at a point in their life now, in a point in their business now where they can just sit back and the money keep flowing, but yet still they continue to do the actions every single day. So that builds trust in us and build us the confidence in us that they are doing it. So why not? If they're at a level where they don't have to do it and they're still doing it, then therefore I want to get where they are. So I'm going to do that activity. So one of the things is that your team, what you do in little, your team does in excess. So what that means, basically, if I do just one thing, then I have 10 other people doing the same thing. So therefore, it's times 10. So see, leaders must take the action. Leaders must be compassionate. Leaders must be compassionate. Leaders must because we're dealing with of understanding where they are to take them to where they need to be. And therefore, leaders are also seeders. What that means is that they are planting seeds into their people, into their team, so that when you are absent, those seeds will start to germinate. Can I just share a scripture from the Bible where Jesus said, "O ye of little faith"? And that's so important. He said that several times to his disciple. He could have said, "O ye of no faith," but he was impeccable with his words. And that's another quality of a leadership. You have to be impeccable with your words. While your team will do exactly as you do, what you say impacts them over the long term, because they would remember what you said and execute it after you're absent. So Jesus said, "O ye of little faith." And then later he said, "If you have a faith as small as a mustard seed, then you can move mountain." He was acknowledging to his disciples, "Hey, you have faith. I want you to acknowledge that you have faith. And I want you to acknowledge that even though your faith may be small, you can still use it to do great things." So leaders are also always seeding, planting seeds into their team, so that their team can grow. So leaders must be able to take someone from actualization. And leaders must also be able to step back and allow others to take the front seat, as Jesus did. Jesus sent out his disciples, say, "Go out and cast out demons." He empowered them. "Go out and do it." And he sat back and rest. So his disciples were able to use the gifts that they have inside them because he allowed them to do it. Leaders must be vision casters. Must be vision casters. Leaders must paint a bigger vision for his team. You must expand your team mind and level of thinking. Jesus did this. Jesus said, "Greater things shall you do in my name." And Jesus was doing exceptionally ordinary things, super ordinary things, guys. And he was planting in his disciples' mind, "This what I am doing, you're going to do greater. You are going to do greater. You just have to believe and work on this faith that I have given you." So leaders are seeders, and leaders must recognize his people for their gifts and their talents, and allow his team to take the front seat and sit back and recognize them for their qualities. And then finally, your leadership is not measured in your presence, but in your absence. Because in your presence, they will do it out of respect for you. They will do it out of fear of what you can do to them. So persons may get the position of leadership, but they are not leaders. But in your presence, because they fear what you can do to them, like a boss or like a person who founded a business, his business will grow. But as this person dies or is no longer able to run the business fall. He was not a leader, he was a manager. But in the absence of the leader, that's where your leadership is actually shown. That's what where the fruit of your leadership actually comes to the forefront. And that's why when Jesus left the earth, the church exploded, because his leadership was impeccable. His leadership was second to none. And therefore, if we want to grow as leaders, we must always stay in learning mode, as Jessica said, and grow ourselves, because we set the limits for the persons we lead. We set the limit for our team. And if we continue to expand ourselves and cast a bigger vision for our team, then what we will leave behind, the legacy that we will leave behind, will be so extraordinary that it will blow our minds if would be able to see it when we are not here. So those are just my words about leadership, and try to be a good leader. Be compassionate, be impeccable, listen to your team, allow them to take the forefront, be impeccable with your words, take the action, and finally, sow seeds into your team. So thank you very much, Mom. I'm not going to spoil your name again. I'm sorry.
Yes, oh, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. I like the fact that you've mentioned that as a leader, allow others to take the front seat, the driver's seat, and just watch from afar on how they can go. Wow, that was so profound. Thank you so much, Odein. Thank you so much for sharing such a powerful message. Our next speaker is going to be Melissa Burnside. Melissa Burnside is a highly sought after international speaker and a coach. She has inspired audiences since the age of 16. Wow. In 2019, she was named Coach of the Year by Success Hotline. She has been personally mentored by Les Brown. Melissa is the founder of CoachBurnside.com, a company that gives clients the tools to build the life they love to live. After coaching athletes at state competitions and breaking countless records, Melissa believes that all things are possible against all odds. Melissa's mission says that I believe that helping others create a life of fulfillment is valued and needed in the world today. So Kings and Queens, help me to welcome Melissa Burnside.
Thank you so much, Rial. So I am honored to be here. I am so grateful to be with Jessica and O'Dane and Rial and just share some of my insight on leadership with you. I haven't always been a leader. I didn't even know what leadership was until I became one. When I was in high school, a freshman, I would look around and I would see other people and they were having fun in sports. And I craved that. And I had a dream to be like other people and I would see their joy in their life and I would want that. So I decided I was going to play a sport. And I went out for the basketball team and I was so excited and I did my very best. And then when it came time for us to see who made the team, I ran and I looked for my name. And I looked and my name wasn't there. And I felt deep despair and rejection. And it hurt. And how many of you have ever felt that rejection and hurt in your life? It takes you into a place where you have to choose. Am I going to get back up? Am I going to go after it again? And as you do that, you become stronger. So the next sport I found that I could go out for was cheerleading. And my best friend and I, we went and tried out for cheerleading. We had to learn all the routines. And the day came when they posted all the cheerleaders and I ran to look for my name. And I was like totally shocked that it wasn't there. And then that deep despair and disappointment came over me again. But in that, I gained strength. And I said, I will not give up. So the next sports that were available to play was volleyball and football. And I have never liked playing volleyball. When the ball hits my wrists, it stings in a deep way. And I just thought, why would people do that to themselves? I will not play volleyball. I will go play football. So I showed up the very first day back in 1991. Boys everywhere. And the coach said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm going to be on your football team. He said, no, you're not. And that despair started coming back to me. And I thought, I will not be told no. I know that you cannot prevent me from playing. A law had been set in place years before that allowed anyone to play on the opposite team. If there was no girls' team, I could play on the boys' team. If there was no boys' team, they could play on the girls' team. Knowing this gave me fuel. He knew nothing of this law. He said, I've never heard of such a thing. Get out of here. Go away. I turned and I, with determination, walked to that office. And he shouted, go home and play with your dolls. And when he said that to me, my heart broke inside. Tears started rolling down my cheeks. And I thought, no way will I go home and play with my dolls. And I turned that fuel into fire that lit me, that has given me energy to do all the things I've needed to do in my life. I came back the next day, and I came back the next day, and that coach was like, we need to get rid of her. We don't want her here. They actually thought that it was a sign of weakness to have a female on their football team, and they were winners. And I decided I'm going to be a winner too. I kept going every day. And at one point, the coach put a $50 price tag on my head and said, whoever can get her to quit, they'll get $50. And back in 1991, that was a lot of money. And I said, no one's going to get any money off of my head. And I took that negativity and pushed it into fuel, and I hit them harder. And finally they said, oh, she is not quitting. We better just leave. She's going to hurt us. So I'm here to tell you, you can do anything in your life, that you can become a leader no matter what. And guess what? He had to sign my letter of certificate at the end of the football season. And then something amazing happened. Then I saw with my own eyes that I was a leader. And the way I saw that was the next season, 2 girls went out and wrestled. It had never been happened before. And now you roll forward 29 years later, and I work at a high school where we have 20 female wrestlers. One of them is a state champion. And when I told her my story, she knew that my life had impacted hers. And that felt very humbling, but also I had a feeling of responsibility to continue to impact the world in the way that I knew I could. An opportunity came. 3 track and field coaches came and talked to me, and they said, we want you. And I was a little shocked that they wanted me, because I had been told so many times before that I wasn't wanted. It felt good to be wanted. And so I came on board and became a track and field jump coach. And through my journey of teaching others that they can believe in themselves, when we went to districts in the long jump, 8 of the 16 spots were held by our kids, my jumpers. And they went on, one of them went on to win state, 10th in state for the triple jump. And so I tell you these things so you can understand you can do amazing things. You can be a leader. You don't have to be wanted in the beginning to find yourself. You can be the best that you can be, and you will rise to the top, and nothing will stop you. Because can you imagine how amazing this world would be if everybody gave their best? That's what leaders do. They give their very, very best. When they see an opportunity, they raise their hand. I'll do that. Another opportunity came along for me, and I could see that they needed my leadership. And the football coach, he had been trying to beat our rival team for 5 years. The team had been around since 1972. Our rival team, we had beat 1 time in the year 2012. I told him, I have what it takes to open their minds, to help them see that they can beat this team. He brought me on board, and I became a varsity football coach. People looked at me again like, what is she doing here? No one's a female football coach. She doesn't belong here. I could hear the chatter. But I persevered, and I said, I have a goal, and I will help them reach their goals. because that's what a true leader does. They don't just think about themselves. They push other people. They get behind them and they push them forward. And they pull them sometimes. Sometimes they're in front of them and pull them. And they see when they're weak, and they see when they're strong, and they see the moments when they have to take action. And at the end of that game, there was a couple of minutes left in the game and we were down. And I said to myself, they need to wake up. They need the energy. They can beat this team. I had to believe with all of my heart. And I went up to one player and I said, if I could pour my energy into you, I would. If I could go out on that field for you, I would. And so you have to do it yourself. And I poured as much energy into him as possible. And I told the whole team, we have to wake up. If you're not on the field, you still are a part of this team and you have to work hard. And in less than 2 minutes, we scored 2 touchdowns and we beat that team for the second time in 48 years. You have to see the dream. You have to know where your records are so you can break them. You have to believe it's possible. And I tell you, there's 2,200 kids that go to our school and they will never forget that game. They will never forget that they realize they're winners. And I have a quote, believe you're a winner and create the evidence, because each of you are winners. And you can look for the evidence that you're a loser, or you can look for the evidence that you're a winner. And you are a winner. And the evidence you're looking for will appear because you will create it. Leaders aren't driven by fear. They squash the fear. When they ask for a volunteer, leaders are the first one to put their hand up and say, I will go. Even if they don't know the way, they know they can create the path and leave a trail behind them. Leaders are confident. They believe that even if they don't know how, it will happen. I encourage each of you to believe that you can be a leader in this world by giving your best, by waking up every day and say, I will be brave today. Leaders are brave. And I ask you, are you brave? And I tell you, you are brave. You are very brave. You wouldn't be watching this today if you didn't want to be better tomorrow than you are today. Leaders also step out first. They don't follow. And that is one thing that I have noticed in my life. It gets easier to step out first. The more you step out first, you're not afraid to step out first. And it's okay to be afraid once in a while. But doing it, stepping out on that blind platform that you can't see, that is what makes you alive. And I just would encourage all of you to give your best, to help others, and to know that when you help others succeed, you succeed. And living a fulfilled life is so important because you will be driven by the fulfillment that comes. As Jessica was talking about, as O'Dane talked about, it is so important that we help people find themselves. And as we help people come along to their purpose in life, we are fulfilling our own purpose in life. And we can have peace and joy and live a life that we can't wait to wake up and live in the morning. I'm Coach Burnside. You can find me at coachburnside.com. And I am just so grateful to Rial for allowing me this time and space in this world. And I hope you feel better for having heard my speech. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you so much for sharing such a profound message. And this message is really needed at this time. You've mentioned that we'll have to live an authentic life through leadership, and how our positive self-talk can help us to create the life that we love. That was so amazing. So going back to what O'Dane has said, he said that we should know how to be the light in this dark world, and we should really know how to be that light. And Jessica mentioned that being a leader being a great leader, it means that you'll have to lead by example. So all this ties together to attributes of great leadership. That was amazing. Thank you so much, amazing speaker. So I'm going to be the next speaker and I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Nompumelelo Riel Gunene. I know many struggle with my first name, but just call me Riel so that you just keep it real. So I am an energetic professional speaker. I am an author to Rise to Greater Heights book, which is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, especially under these circumstances. So my book has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. I am also a mentor coach, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness, because I believe that we're in full control of our choices. So my title, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. So as I wear many hats as a certified professional sales manager, esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for odds, following my dreams honestly gave me the reason to see my goals through and understand that I have everything around me to reach to my full potential. So my everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. Knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish all of your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps me to rise to greater heights. So our viewers online, please feel free to ask any questions that our speakers have shared today, and we're gonna respond to those questions at the end of the podcast. But before I continue, I just want to double check if I'm in the right platform here. How many of you, with a raise of hand, can say that Nompumelelo, I have never ever complained in life? Never ever complained in life. Never. Because sometimes in life we go complaining about everything. Oh, the weather is really bad today. Traffic was worse than expected. My family drives me crazy sometimes. Oh, the movie was really disappointing. You name it. Though whining can be a way to build an inspiration, it can also keep us from acting. And it gives excuses time to procrastinate from achieving goals. One thing I've realized is that we usually complain in the wake of a negative situation. We tend to focus more on the problem than finding potential solutions. It is so much easier to complain than to find solutions. And individuals who whine on a regular basis, they are apt to have a bad health. So next time we'll find you complaining that, why do pizzas come in square boxes? Yet they are round. And funny enough, they are cut in triangles. Does that sound like you? Yeah, please write this down. Please write this down. Vision and being purpose-driven. Vision and being purpose-driven. Great leaders have a vision. Not only does a good leader view a situation as a whole, but they are passionate about their work and are committed enough to achieve positive results at any cost. When challenged, they don't give in too easily, but they have an exciting idea of where they are going and what they want to accomplish. If I may ask you today, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve maybe in the coming new year, maybe in the next 6 months? Please put in the chat box, rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights. Because leaders should also be self-driven. Such dedication is required since it instills a sense of responsibility. A sense of responsibility within the team members to work harder in wanting to achieve better results for their company. Another attribute of effective leadership is honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity. The supreme quality of leadership, honestly, is unquestionably integrity. Great leaders exhibit integrity at all times because without it, no real success is possible. So remember to lead by example, as Odein mentioned, as Jessica mentioned, as Melissa mentioned, lead by example. Make sure your organization reinforces the importance of integrity to leaders at various levels to see how far one can go. Everyone around them is being dishonest. Please write this down. Write this down. Decision-making capabilities. Decision-making capabilities. I remember Tony Robbins once said that a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken new action. If there is no action, you haven't truly decided. And honestly, this message, it stirred something within me. A good leader isn't simply empowered to make decisions due to their position, but economic goals to recognize that great leaders know their limits and involve the other voices and perspectives into their decision-making. And all leaders must occasionally make difficult decisions. These are decisions that require an authority and finality that will not please everyone around them. So another attribute to great leadership is creativity and innovation. As flight attendants always say that in order for you to save the world, you'll have to put on your oxygen mask first. Because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help could possibly go down. So put on the oxygen mask first onto you before you save the next person. As a good leader, you must be ready to transform your creative spirit into an innovation that sets you apart from the rest. So it is up to you to think outside the box when any issue arises. The thing that separates a leader from a follower is that a leader is creative and innovative to come up with unique ideas and turn those ideas and goals into reality. I so wish you can just tell yourself that, you know what, I'll have to make a difference in this world. I'll have to make a difference within me. I'll have to make a difference to those around me. I'll have to make a difference in my company. But in order for you to make a difference, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry as a hungry lion in the jungle. That hungry lion, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. That hungry lion, all he sees in front of him is lunch. It doesn't matter if you're that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All he sees is lunch. And it's so funny because even with elephants, when they see a lion, what they do is that they run. In their mindset, they already told themselves that I am a lunch to that lion, so I better run. I think that's the mindset that we need for effective leadership. Please write this down. Delegation and empowerment. Delegation and empowerment. Delegating is one of the core responsibilities of a leader. It is important for you to focus on key responsibilities while leaving the rest to others. Your ability to get everyone working and pulling together is essential to your success. A good leader has faith in their ability to train and develop the employees under them. Regardless of the situation and position you are in, a single individual will fall short of everything at once. And leaders realize this before anyone else. And these leaders have the willingness to empower those they lead to act autonomously. As a leader, you'll have to be able to delegate and empower others around you. So good people, this is a wake-up call. But please, if that alarm clock goes off, please, please, don't ever hit the snooze button. I know what I'm talking about here. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Forever is a long time. Why don't you just wake up, get going, and empower those around you? Always remember that you can't do everything on your own. This is why great leaders tend to delegate smaller tasks to their team members while directing their focus on major tasks. Good leaders recognize that delegation does more than just simply passing the task to someone else by empowering their followers and delegating tasks to them. Bill Gates once said that as we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. And honestly, I am really inspired by this message. This is another attribute to effective leadership, inspiration. Inspiration. Probably the most difficult job for a leader is to persuade others to follow. But for economy, great leaders inspire others to do more. The very best leaders are a source of positive energy because they always seem to have a solution and always know what to say to inspire and reassure. When the going gets tough, having the quality of courage means that you are willing to take risks in the achievement of your goals and with assurance of success. So as your team looks up to you and see how you react, how you react to other situations, because the book of life, it says that fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, because I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand. So in order for you to join the elite club of good leaders, you need to focus on results. You need to focus on results, on what must be achieved by you and your team. A leader is not the one who has secured a commanding position in a firm, but you must have all these qualities that all the speakers have already shared in order for you to focus on the needs of the company and the situation. Great leaders, honestly, they focus on strengths in themselves and in others. But if you lack some of these qualities, then you might struggle to make the mark in the world of leadership. On top of this, a natural born leader is the one that has the natural drive to mentor, motivate, and guide other people to set a good example for others to follow. Not everyone is or can be a natural born leader. So your ability as a leader to call the shots and make sure that everyone is concentrated on the most valuable use of their time is the essential qualities listed above. And if applied correctly, it can yield positive results. Please write this down in closing. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. If I can be honest with you today, I don't know what goals you have about your life, and I don't know what dreams you want to achieve maybe in the next 6 months. But here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are to grow and flourish. Many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that God has better plans for every one of us. Your objective is what you're designed for and the reason why you live today. We are all destined for greatness as long as we follow God's strategy. This is what is because discovering your gift and following God's idea will make you understand that you have a reason in this life today. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you have to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what goals, what visions, and what books will die with you? And he also continued that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the visions, all the goals, all the dreams have been buried. I really don't know about you, but with me, when listening to this message, it gave me sleepless nights. And I am really proud today to introduce Rise to Greater Heights book. This is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, especially under these circumstances. So this book has the potential to completely revolutionize aspects of your life and career. You can get this book for a family member or a loved one who just need that inspiration to face the world with a positive mindset. And by the way, Les Brown, he wrote the foreword in this book. So the moment you get this book, you'll be able to explore leadership, empowerment, being purpose-driven, mentorship, coaching, mental health, emotional intelligence, resilience to greatness, and many, many topics, including spiritual growth and single parenting. I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Nompumelelo Riel Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. At this moment, if you have any final thoughts on effective leadership, please share with our audience, and then our audience online can just post any questions that they have for our speakers today. But our speakers can share anything right now, just a wrap up on effective leadership. So anyone can just take in the platform.
Motivated from within to help around the house.
Diallo, I just wanted to say
And in
that
the world at large, because they
thank
see
you. I
the
wanted
value
to
and
talk about your book a little
to the
more.
whole,
Like you
rather
said,
than just
it is
thinking
a
about your
guide
own needs.
for greatness to get to the
Discipline,
next
you wanna
level,
contribute,
and it
you wanna
helps
be an
you
asset,
to
you don't wanna be a
have an
liability.
outline, so to
Number
say.
Sorry, Jessica, there is an echo sound behind you.
Children who are
I'm
disciplined
sorry?
have an internal sense of confidence. In other
I think you're also playing something else while you're talking. I can hear TD Jakes behind you.
You don't have to have 1,000 likes to like yourself.
Is that better? I'm sorry.
They have been loved correctly, which makes them see themselves.
No, I can still hear it.
Okay.
Do you want to fix yourself? And okay.
Yeah, okay. So what I was saying, I wanted to talk a little more, give some feedback about your book. I do have it as an ebook on my Kindle. It is an extraordinary book just to share with our audience. It's a guide to rise to greater heights. It's like an outline on, you know, when things go wrong, what to do. And I thank you for that, Non Pompiello. It's greatly appreciated. It's a book inside of a book. And I just wanted to say, I didn't mention, we are all leaders in our lives, whether it's parents, in our work and career force, or just leading ourselves, because we are the masters of our life, right? God's gift to us is life, and how we live our life is our gift to God. So I just wanted to thank you again, and thank you to the audience and everyone listening, and thank you, Melissa and Odane, for your inspiration. And like you said, we have to inspire others, because what happens when we inspire and help others, like Melissa and Odane, and you shared, Real, we always will get a drop on ourselves when we spread that goodness, and we can't help but get a drop on ourselves, right? So if anyone wanted to reach out to me, my email address is jessicakenley7@gmail.com. I am, like you mentioned, a public speaker. I am a youth mentor and coach. I'm also a life coach and a public speaker. Thank you, everyone. That's it.
Thank you, Jessica. You can go ahead, Melissa.
So I just wanted to, again, thank Rial for letting me be here and sharing my story with you. And I wanted to say that we all have a purpose in life. And I am in the process of birthing a book called The Ride of Your Life. And I know that I was to share my journey of healing from a trauma with so many people, because there are so many people out there who have gone through trauma, who are stuck in it. And I will not go to the grave with my lessons in my head. They will come out of me, and they will be put on paper, and they will be available for those to read who are looking for the keys to creating a life they love to live. And I know that it is my journey that I am to share this with the world. And I am grateful to be a leader, even though I didn't ever aspire to be a leader. Through my actions of living life, I have become a leader, and I will continue to take that platform and share the knowledge I have. Even if you're uncomfortable, I say we have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is when we know we are growing and that we are moving forward. And the ability to know that in life, that you're moving forward, that you are doing your best. There's nothing that tastes as good as that. And I am just so grateful that Rial has really showed me, you can do it. When she held up her book, I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a day, because I am not going to go away from this earth without having that book to hold up, to inspire other people and share with them the keys that have got me where I am today, because I can honestly say I am a happy, peaceful, kind person, and I love the life I live. And so if you want to have that life you love to live, you can have it too. The question is, do you believe that you're worthy of it? Do you believe you have what it takes to build that life? And I believe you do, but you have to believe it first. Thank you again.
Thank you, Melissa. Odin, do you want to go ahead?
Awesome. I must give it up to you guys. Awesome inspiration. I have some notes right here. As usual, a leader is always trying to learn. You must always try to grow yourself. And that's where my final words will come from. You know, it starts with you. It starts with you. Work harder on yourself than you do on anything else. And that's Jim Rohn. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, than you do on your kids. Because guess what? Your kids are watching you. Others are watching you, whether or not you believe it or acknowledge it, they are watching you. So work harder on yourself. I binge on personal development, and I would encourage you to do that as well. And also get a coach. Get a coach. As Les Brown would say, you can't read the label while you're inside the box, right? So we are basically inside of a box now, but once we get a coach will expand our mind. Get a leader who has already achieved the things that you want to achieve. And listen, for you to be a good leader, you must first be coachable. You must first be coachable, be able to take instruction and execute them effectively. Because whatever you do, that's what your people will do. And your energy is everything. Ensure that your energy is correct when you're talking to people. Ensure that your energy is correct when you're talking to your team, because people don't join people, but they join your energy. Once your energy is up here, then they will join you. So leadership is a skill. If you're not yet at the level that you are, at the level that you want to be rather, then you can certainly grow, because there are others who were not a leader. As Melissa said, she didn't see herself as a leader, but she has to rise to the occasion, because the hard time came when she wanted this thing, just like you may want something right now and can't get it because somebody is standing in your way. You have to stand up inside yourself and be the leader that you need to be. You won't be a leader like me, you won't be a leader like Rial, you won't be a leader like Jessica or Melissa, but you are certainly a leader, because there's greatness in each and every one of us. That's what the good book says.
Wow. No. All the speakers, honestly, they are a powerhouse. Thank you so much. And you know, the comments that we get on YouTube, oh my goodness. And we are surrounded by our Les Brown family here. CDA is saying that we all have to rise to greater heights. Dolly Dixon, oh my goodness. She's like, yes, we have to learn how to be comfortable by being uncomfortable. And she's saying that, great job, everyone. You really rock. Yes, positive vibes. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our viewers online. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Our viewers online, thank you so much for joining us today at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope you've been inspired, motivated, and ready to rise to greater heights. So please join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you so much for joining us. Merci beaucoup. Siyabonga.